bloomlibrary.org. This is the location where you can access books. So you can access books that are available in various languages. There's, as you can see on my screen there, there's 12,500 books that have been uploaded to Bloom Library. So they're available to download and to translate into other languages. But on the Create tab here, this allows you to download Bloom. So for those who haven't downloaded Bloom already, then this is the place that you would go to download the program. You'll also see on this page that there's training videos. There's access to a forum if you're wanting to ask questions or suggest some features for Bloom. That's available there. And yeah, there's also some short articles here of how Bloom's being used by others around the world. As you can see there, India, Papua New Guinea, Cameroon, Afghanistan, and then there's many other books. Just while we're on this page, you can see that there's some of them have got coloured pictures, some are just line drawings, others are photos. That's the advantage of using Bloom. You can have someone draw the images. You can have photos, and that's if you're creating books for a local language, then it may be helpful to have local stories. Okay, so just some things about the Bloom itself. I'll just stop sharing for a moment. Yeah, so Bloom is available. What I'll be showing you is in English, but it can be changed. You can change the language within Bloom to other languages. It doesn't. I'm not going to say it has all of the languages, but it has major languages. You can change the Bloom interface, but then there may be some languages that translation is still in progress. And one advantage of Bloom is that you don't need to save. Bloom will save automatically. Okay, so within Bloom, when you're first opening it, and so when you're first opening Bloom, if you've never used it before, then you'll see something similar to this. An option to create a collection or to open a collection that you already have. So a collection is like a set of books that are in one particular language. So as you can see here, I've just been doing some testing, and there's the Thai books, English books, Tagalog books. There's a separate collection for each of those. So this two different types of collections. So there's a local language collection. This is what you'd be using most of the time. Or there's a collection of shell books or template books that may be in a major language. So maybe the major language in your country, and then you're making those available for others to translate. So what I'm going to be showing you is a local language collection. And so the first step is choose local language collection and then click next. At that point, you'll have the option to choose the language. The way to do that is to just type the name of the language. So just as an example, if I was looking for wanting to create some books in Thai or one of the other languages in Thailand, then just start typing Thai, and then that will show you the different languages. So just, for example, if I wanted Thai, then I can change how it's displayed. So most of the time, if it's a language like Thai, you may just like it to display Thai, but there may be times where the language is known by another name. So you can change how the name is displayed in the book. I'll use Thai, even though I'm still learning Thai. There's also, particularly if it's a language that's not in a Roman script, then you may need to click on the script and variant option. And then you could choose which script. This is recognized that it's wanting to use the Thai script. But if you find that a script isn't automatically recognized, then you may need to scroll through the list. Yeah, so for example, Devanagari may be needed for some of your languages. And there's lots of scripts and scripts that are available. Okay, so I'll just leave that as Thai. And the next option is to choose what font you're going to use within the book. So this is particularly helpful if you have a font that's used for your language. For example, there might be a particular font that's used for the Thai. Let's see. Yeah, or there's a Myanmar text font. If you're not sure what font you should be using, then it may be helpful to ask someone who's already been producing things in your language. So whether that's another literacy person or someone within your organization. So I'm just going to choose the Andika New Basic, which is a good font to use for literacy work. And then these options here are optional, but you can choose whether you have the country, the province, the district. And then also what you're going to call the collection. So it's helpful here if you're going to be creating multiple collections, then it's good to have the collection with a name that you'll be able to recognize. For example, I already have a collection called Thai books, so I can't call this one Thai books, but it might be, let's say, Thai books nature. So you could have a separate collection of books for nature, for maybe sport, for different things about Thai. So you'll be able to easily distinguish between them. And then once you click next and then finish, it will create the collection, but you'll notice that Bloom actually restarts again. Okay, so Bloom has started with an empty collection. So we have we have an empty collection here called Thai books nature. And at the left, the bottom here, you'll see that there's options for sources for creating new books. So the one that you probably be using most is the basic book. But you're also able to download books from the Bloom library. So if you download those for translation into your language, then those will appear at the left. So as you can see, I have downloaded some books from the Bloom library. But before we actually get into creating a book, I'll just show you some of the Bloom screen itself. Okay, so when we created the collection, we were able to change some of the settings. Now that we're actually within the collection, you're able to change more of them. So by clicking on settings, this is where you can set the languages for the book. So we just chose Thai as the local language, but you can have, for example, you might want Thai as the second language, and another language that's spoken in Thailand could be the local language. Or it may be Nepali you're wanting as the national language, and then a language that's spoken in Nepali in Nepal. And if you wanted a third language, you can also choose that there. There is also an option now for sign language, which I won't get into today. Maybe I'll mention it a little bit next week. But if anyone's interested in learning more about that, then just let me know. And just one thing to note, if you're choosing multiple languages, if you have 3 languages and you're wanting those 3 languages displayed on the page, then that will make the text smaller. So if you've got 3 languages, they may be small on the page. So what I've seen is normally a book in 1 language, or maybe 2 languages, but there is the option to do 3. And once you have selected the languages here, if you choose that you want to create a book in just one of those languages, then that is an option. The next tab is bookmaking. The front back matter pack, I'll just leave it as traditional. But if you're wanting to use a paper saving option just for printing or printing a draft, then you can choose that option. So it puts the credits on the inside of the front cover. The super paper saver combines it even more. And then so there's the default font, which is the font for Thai. And then you can also choose a font for the 2nd language or the 3rd language. But you also may find that your language has a specific script or style of numbering that's used. For example, the default here is decimal, but they may be wanting to use the Thai numbering, Devanagari, Cambodian. I'm not sure what language you're all working in, but there may be another a page numbering style that you would use. And then the project information, this is just what we set up when we created the collection. Bloom Enterprise tab, I won't get into that today, but there's some features of Bloom that are paid features. So if you have the Bloom Enterprise subscription, then you can access those. There's also advanced program settings. There's some features of Bloom that are still in the testing stage. So if you're wanting to try those out, then there's an option to show experimental book sources. And then, a couple of features that are part of the Bloom Enterprise. So if you've changed any options within these settings, then Bloom will need to restart the program again once you click OK. But I haven't changed anything here. The first thing we need to do we've created a collection. So the next thing we need to do is create a book. So just by clicking on Basic Book, you can either double click on it or click once and then make a book using this source. So now Bloom opens with what we had before was a blank collection. This is now a blank book. So you'll see there is the option. It's a little bit hard to see the top right, and not sure my photo on your screen may be covering over it. but you can move the pictures down if it's covering the screen. There's options where you can zoom in or zoom out. But for when you're first setting up the book, it is helpful to have it so you can see the whole page on one screen. In Bloom, wherever you see this flower image, this means that an image will be there. So this flower image will be replaced by whatever image you decide to put on the book. This is the front cover. So normally the front cover would have the book title in the language that you're working in, and then the book title in the second language. So maybe the book title in English if I have Thai and English. But while we're on that, I'll show you at the top. It shows an option where you can, at the moment, this book is just in one language, which is Thai, but the cover also has English on it. But I may want to have the book in 2 languages. So that will mean that each page of the book, if you have text boxes, it will have the text in both languages. And you can switch between those if you're wanting to just print a book in one language, or you're wanting to print it in 2 languages. So this is a nature collection. So so just as an example, this is a book about trees. So to add an image, there's a couple of ways to do it. If you already have the image on your clipboard, then there's an option here to just paste it in. But you'll probably have a file. Whether it's a drawn image, or it may be a photo. So Bloom has access to Art of Reading, which is an image gallery. And this has this is line drawing images, so not colored images, but if you're just wanting simple line drawings, then they're available. Or if you have a scanner or a camera attached to your computer, then those options are there. Also, if you have a file, so this may be, you may have something that's on a file. For example, here's one I've just found. It's a photo. So you may want to choose that from a file on your computer. One thing to note is that there's limited options for editing the image within Bloom. So if you're wanting to do more than just cropping the image, then you'll need to edit it in another program before you use it in Bloom. But there is the option for cropping, so you can change the size of the image. And then once you've got it how you want it, then click OK. And then your image will appear on the page. A little bit later, I will get into this, the copyright issues, but that's what this question mark is. Any images that you insert, you need to put the copyright details. And Bloom will alert you to that when you're trying to print or you're trying to publish. So once we have the title, you can have it in both languages on the page here, and you might want to put the author's name on this page as well. So there's a space there that you can include that. Inside the front cover is normally blank, but there is the ability to add text there. The title page is where, if you have put the book title in both languages on the front cover, then this is where it will show. And yeah, if you've got contributions by writers, illustrators, editors that might be not in English, then this is where you would add that information. Sorry, in English. For example, it may be that the book's originally written by someone, but now it's been translated by another person. So you would want to include that there as well. And also the credits page. This I'll get to more when I'm looking at the copyright. This is where you need to put all of the information about the copyright holder, and whether other people can use your work, and then what permissions you're giving them. And then there's the inside back cover and the back cover, which you can have things on if you want to. But we need to add some pages to the book. So at the moment, we just have the cover and the title and credits page. So by clicking Add Page, this allows you to choose the type of page that you want. For example, it could be basic text and picture, which may be that you've got a picture at the top and text below. Or you may have the opposite order, or maybe a picture in the middle and then text either side of it. Maybe a page of all text, depending on what you want. And the question was asked about the quiz pages. This is where the quiz pages would be. So this is only available with the Bloom Enterprise subscription. So I'm going to choose a page with the picture at the top and text below. And a feature that has been added fairly recently to Bloom is the ability to add multiple pages at once. So if your book has got, if you're wanting 5 pages exactly the same, then you can, yeah. So there's, so then you can change it to 5. There is some confusion when you're increasing the number from 1, because if you add another number, it will appear after the 1, and then you have to go back and delete the 1. That is a bug that has been reported. So just note that if you're inserting 5 pages, you may accidentally insert 15 pages if you don't delete the 1. So I'm adding the pages. So now I have 5 pages. 5 pages using that layout. And it may be a little hard to see. I'm going to increase this size a little bit. But at the bottom right of the text boxes, it shows that particular language. So here I have a book that's in Thai and also English. So this is what I was referring to with, if you have more languages, the boxes are smaller. So if you had a whole paragraph of text that you wanted, then you can, you may want to just have the book in one specific language. I just saw a question there about the size of the book. Okay, so yeah, so if you've the option at the top of the screen here below the number of languages is where you can choose the size of the page. So this book is A5 portrait, which means that it's an A4 page folded in half, but there are other options there. So you can change the page type there, which is the size of the book. But if you're wanting to, the question was about inserting different pages. That's possible. So I've got 5 pages using this format, but if I go to add a page, I might want another page using the different format. So I can just choose that. So I have one page where the text is at the top. So I hope that answered the question. So on the page here, you'll see that it's if you hold the mouse over the line between the book, between the image and the text, there's the option that you can actually drag it. So you're making the image bigger and the text box is smaller, or you can go the other way. Okay, and so the questions continued about the length, the height and length of the page. These are preset page sizes. If you're wanting something that is a different page size, then that would need to be requested from the Bloom developers, and then if there's enough interest in having that page size, then it could be added here. So, for example, there was a request for 13 centimeter square option, so that was added. Well, there's the A4, there's the A6, A5, A3. Yeah, but if there's a particular size book that you find a lot of the books in your country are created in, then either send me a message or request it through the Bloom forum. So these are set page sizes. So if you're wanting to change the size of the image section or the text section, you can just drag the box. But you can't actually change the size of, you can't change it so you have the Thai text is a little bit bigger, well, a bigger box than the English text. But I will show you an option where you can actually make the size of the text within the box bigger. At the top of the screen, you'll see there's an option to change layout. This may be useful if you're wanting to, you've got this layout, but you decide that you want to put another box at the top right, which can be picture, video, if it's a digital book, or text. So now I've added a text box, an extra text box at the right. If I wanted, I could add another image box, another picture box. And yeah, you can add another text box, or you can delete the box. But once you've made the changes, then click the change layout option again, and it will take you back to how your screen is. I see there's a question about, can you set different font size and paragraph for each pages? You can set styles. So this is done within the particular text box. So at the bottom of the text box, you'll see that there's a gear icon, which is for settings. So if you click on that, this allows you to, okay, I'll get to adding a text box in a moment. So this allows you to have particular, so this is the normal style. So you may want this text box, this particular box to be the normal style. So anything that you change here, so the size that you make this, the font that you use, the spacing, whether it's bold, the paragraph style, it may be centered. Any of those that you change will affect any boxes that are set with the normal style. So this is also set with a normal style. So, okay. So this is set with a normal style, but it actually has a larger font. But if you're wanting to have, so this is, well, there are some styles that are already set. So there's big words. This is a style that's already set. So you may want big words for that box. You might have different heading styles, but you may want to create your own style. So you may have paragraph text. So now I've created paragraph text, and I can change that particular font. Yeah, so I can change anything I want with that particular font. And then this one here is still normal. So if I change that, I've changed the size of this box, but it's not changing the size of the previous one because they're using two separate styles. Okay, there was a question about showing how to add the text box again. So click Change Layout. And so I'll go back to how it was before. Okay. Yeah, so it's slightly different to how it was, but this is, yeah, so if you want another text box at the top, then click the plus, hold the mouse over where it's got the image, and then click the plus. And then you have the option of either picture, video, or text. So then you can click text. And that's added another text box at the side. But if you're adding another text box in the change layout settings, you have the option to select what language this box will be in. If you choose normal, then and you have a 2-language book, then it will have the 2 languages. But you may want that this particular text box is just in Thai. And yeah, you can set that the alignment is centered. And yeah, for any of the text boxes, you can go into change layout, and there's 4 options for borders, and there's a background option. So you could have one of the text boxes that's got a background and a border. And it may be that this is just in one language. So now you'll see this box here. It has the image, and it has text, but it's only in Thai. It's not available. It's not in English as well. Okay, so there's basic, so if this was a real book, I would be typing this in Thai. So I'll go into the English box here. There's some basic formatting options. You've got bold, italics, underline, and a superscript. So these can apply to individual text within the box. So if you have some text in this previous box, and you may want this particular English text to be bold, or you might want it to be in italics. So that option is there, that you can apply that to just the text, specific text within the box, without actually changing the style. Yes, so with the images, I showed you on the cover about inserting something from a file from my computer. Here I'm going to search for a tree in the image gallery. And so I want this image to appear on that page. If I wanted to crop it, I could, but this one doesn't need cropping. And one advantage of using images that are in this image gallery is that the copyright information is already with it. Yes, so this is covered by Creative Commons, BYSA limitations, which if you click the license info, then that will allow you to see what the different options are. So I'll just insert this image as it is. So now I have a tree here, and you'll notice that this image doesn't have the orange question mark. It actually has the copyright symbol. So if I click on that, it will show me the information that's associated with that image. So this is, the copyright is with SIL International. It's from the Art of Reading collection. There's the location, that's the copyright details. And so you're free to make commercial use of this work. You may adapt or add to the work, but you may not distribute, but you may distribute the work only under the same or similar license. So this is, you can make commercial use of this work. So, so you can actually sell a book using this, but you must keep the copyright credits, and you must include the same or a similar license. If it was an image that you created yourself, then you could indicate that you may not use it, the other person may not use it, or may not make commercial use. of the image. So you'll see that when I click on the image on the first page, which currently doesn't have copyright information. So here, when you're adding copyright information, you need to put who created it. So in this case, it's I created it. So I so I took the photo. The copyright year, I took it this year, or actually I took it last year, so 2021. And the copyright holder, it may be the same person, or it may be an organization. So you need to have both the creator and the copyright holder, which may be the same. And then here's the options for Creative Commons. There's two main options. Either you're allowing commercial use of your work or you're not. So commercial use means that someone can use your work and get payment for it. So they can sell the book. So if I say no, that's saying they cannot make commercial use of the work, but you can still allow them to make modifications to the photo. This is just referring to the photo. There'll be separate copyright for the book itself. So you can say allow modifications of your work, yes, or which means yes, and they can do whatever they want to it. But then yes, as long as others share the like, or you can say no. So no commercial use and no modifications. Or you could say yes, commercial use, but no modifications. And you'll notice, depending on what you choose of these options, the symbol changes. So the Creative Commons symbols. If you click the link about for more information or the public domain option, then you can find out about the specific symbols and the rules. There's also another option, the copyright holder waives all rights. So it's public domain. So anyone can use it, anyone can do whatever they want with it. But if you're choosing that, then you may want to look at what permissions you're actually giving people. Or it could be contact the copyright holder for any permissions. If you're choosing that, then you have to actually put a website or an email address of how the person can contact the copyright holder. Or you can have a custom message. It may be that you've set some options here, but there may be additional requests that you could add as well, or you might want a completely custom message. It may be that, so you're allowing someone to use your work, but you might say, please send a copy of the book to, and then a particular email address. So you're giving them permission to use it, but you want to see how they've used it. So that can be changed there. And then if you change the copyright information there, you have the option to apply it to all the pictures within the book, which in some cases you may want to do if it's the same person who holds the copyright, or it's the same person who's created all of the images. But in this case, it's just this image that I'm applying to myself, so I just click no. But on the credits page, this is, in a similar way, you're actually editing the copyright details for this book itself. So you don't need to indicate who created it, but who holds the copyright for the book. And yeah, whether it's commercial use, this is the book itself. So you could allow commercial use of the book, but no modifications. Or it may be that you're allowing commercial use of the work, but you've also set the permissions on the images to no changes. So the person may be able to change the book, change the text, may be able to make commercial use of it, but they can't change anything with the images. Or there's the same options there about public domain or contacting the copyright holder, or the custom or the extra options is available there.